Brainstorming alternative cool article, suspense, strange world, light system, normal development. Traversing into an unknown space, Huang Ye was assassinated by a maid at the beginning of the game. The martial arts secret he obtained was actually the Jade Maiden Heart Sutra, a technique practiced by women. He had no choice but to follow the theory of the contradiction between yin and yang, practice the technique in reverse, and accidentally become a double cultivation technique, which can lead ordinary mortals to embark on the path of cultivation. From now on, friendly reminder. The work revolves around suspense, with the male lead skilled in layout, strategy, and breaking through. Belongs to fantasy works of imagination. The system is just artificial intelligence, not the kind of system that has everything you think. Pills and classics are obtained through means and abilities, rather than being pulled out by the system. So the entire work has both mystical characteristics and modern concepts, which are thrilling and mysterious, as well as passionate and humorous. The article focuses on innovation, with innovative cultivation methods, storylines, and mystical elements. This work is different from the fantasy works that book enthusiasts have seen in the past. The male protagonist does not become a god after traveling, he knows everything and knows everything. It is safer to plan for that pit when going to the bathroom. The work is closer to life, closer to reality, and closer to human nature. To add, this book has been read for a long time and is almost always well received, but there are also shortcomings. No one can guarantee that a work will satisfy everyone's taste, after all, everyone has different perspectives on the world. I can only tell my book friends that as long as you can persist in reading, this work will definitely give you a refreshing feeling. Chapter 1. Assassination, Bedroom Maid. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Who is she? Sleeping trough, it seems like I've traveled through. Huang Ye looked at the beam above his head in confusion. The bright red beams told him that it was inside an ancient building. What kind of ghost place is this? This bed is obviously from ancient times. The bed is so big, and now I am lying flat on it. Injecting some information into one's mind, this step is beneficial for all travelers to receive the original owner's information. Looking at the information inside, Huang Ye almost didn't cry. Am I wearing a nameless book? The original owner turned out to be a fool, with very little recorded information, only having the same name as him and a nickname of Young Master. The rest is a chaotic scene, occasionally popping up with a word that doesn't come from the village or the store. The only thing that can confirm is that I have indeed traveled. Oh my God, are you playing with me, crossing over to a fool and letting me suffer? System. System. Huang Ye silently recited in his heart. The empty voice echoes in my mind, nothing. Oh my goodness, are you too cruel to give a chance? Squeezing. With a sound, the door opened and Huang Ye instinctively closed her eyes. No, my eyes are clearly closed, how can I see people? A delicate girl's figure appeared in the room, and the girl closed the door and tiptoed towards the bed. The girl was dressed in a goose-yellow gauze dress, with a beautiful appearance that was slightly ferocious. Lying down, what is in her hand? Huang Ye is confused. The girl held a shiny dagger in her hand and paused in front of the bed for a while, trembling as she raised the dagger. Comparing the directions, with a schwa sound, the dagger pierced towards the bottom of the yellow night with a cold light. Huang Ye's back was sweating profusely, trying to dodge the attack, but he found his body weak and weak. He used all his strength to breastfeed and roll over. With a thud, the dagger plunged into the cotton quilt, barely escaping the blow, and the cold feeling of the blade was already felt in the thighs. The girl was taken aback, wondering what was going on. How could he move? She had given him 10 fragrant soft muscle powder. Is it because the dosage is not enough? No, we need to take action as soon as possible. Wipe the sweat off your head and raise the dagger again. Schwa. It's still the same place. Huang Ye took another dose of milk and dodged the blow of the severed root. The girl stared blankly at Huang Ye. This fool was so lucky that he turned over again. The third time he raised his dagger, a voice suddenly came from outside, "Xiangyan, why didn't you warm up the bed in the young master's room?" "Wu Bo, I feel unwell in my stomach and went to the restroom a few times. I'm afraid it might affect the young master's sleep, so I'll go there when it's better. Hurry inside and don't let the young master catch a cold." "Yes." The girl in the yellow shirt heard the conversation outside and quickly stuffed a dagger under the bed, quickly undressed and untied. The girl only had a water-green belly bag and lewd pants left, and her figure was quite good, with a well-proportioned proportion and a certain size on her chest. After a moment, the soft and delicate body had already crawled into the bed. Huang Ye stared cautiously at the young girl and saw her hide the dagger, causing a hanging heart to fall. The delicate body around her only has a cold feeling, and this female demon head may be that moon. Both attacks were narrowly avoided. He himself is not sure how to avoid it. My body was clearly soft, and I only wanted to dodge on my side during the first attack. I didn't expect to dodge. The second attack, when suddenly a glimmer of strength appeared, dodged again. How can one see all the scenery inside the house even with their eyes closed? Is it the superpower brought by time travel? This malicious woman is trying to make me have no children or grandchildren. When I have the strength, I will definitely not let you go. Squeezing. The door was pushed open. Pretty and exquisite little maid, a girl in a purple shirt, flashed into the room. Although Huang Ye turned her back to the girl, her magical eyes could indeed see her clearly. The girl in the purple dress is pure and charming, with a cherry blossom nose and lips, bright eyes and teeth. Her appearance can surpass those internet celebrities who have beautiful looks. Huang Ye gave her a score of 90 directly. The girl in the purple dress had a worried expression on her eyebrows, and her little hands were still rubbing her stomach, looking like she had eaten her stomach. Huang Ye looked coldly at the young girl next to her pillow, probably because of this female demon's hands and feet. "Ah!" exclaimed the girl in purple. "Yue, why are you here?" The girl in bed pretended to wake up and turned her head to look at the girl in the purple shirt. "Sister Xiangyan, you're here. I see you've been using the toilet all the time, afraid that the young master won't have anyone to accompany us and will be scolded. Come over and take your place for a while. It's still thoughtful of you. I was trained by Wu Bo just now. Since you're here, we'll be accompanying the young master together. I'm afraid we won't be feeling well for a while. Sister Xiangyan, your stomach is not feeling well. Why don't you go back first? We just need to change shifts." Huang Ye broke out in cold sweat again and wanted to tell Xiangyan that she must stay. Fortunately, Xiangyan's next sentence made him feel a little calm. "It's okay, there's no need to change. Anyway, the bed is big enough, you can stay inside and I can stay outside. My stomach is much better now. I like the young master to sleep with me, it's warm and comfortable. Sister Xiangyan, why don't I go back first?" "What are you going back for? How warm you are sleeping here. You haven't been here long, and your habits have improved." What to do, whether to agree or not, Yuer's mind suddenly changes. Just now, I put the dagger under the bed temporarily. If Xiangyan finds out, she will definitely report herself, and then she will be speechless. This foolish young master holds a greater position than heaven in her heart, and she will definitely not let anyone harm him. I couldn't find a reason to let her leave, so I had to stay here and watch. Well, I'll listen to my sister. That's right. Xiangyan began to undress and untie. Yuer's soft body flipped over Huang Ye's body, and the two couldn't avoid skin contact. Through her thin underwear, Huang Ye could still feel the coolness on her body, indicating that this girl was also very nervous. After a moment, Xiangyan's delicate body also crawled into the bed. This girl has a very hot figure, her big red belly is bulging, but her waist is full with a grip. The curve of her hips is perfect, with a standard S-shaped curve. She should get used to this way, get into bed, and pull her big hand over directly. Her delicate body pressed against Huang Ye's body, feeling hot and hot. Lying in bed, bold fairy, how could you be so carefree? Yellow Knight's heart fire rises sharply, and your whole body is hot and dry. Fortunately, the medicine is still there. Although I don't know what medicine it is, I can feel it making me feel like a soft-footed shrimp. Ancient women were so advanced, with one cold and one hot sandwiched between them, creating a perfect balance between ice and fire. Which dynasty is this? From this outfit, it looks a bit like the Tang dynasty. It seems like I have watched a TV drama, and the women of the Tang dynasty seem to dress so boldly. I remember feeling that the TV series I was filming was a bit fake, so I searched online and found out that I was ignorant. Don't think about this for now, let's see if we can find the memory of the star collapse. Unfortunately, it is empty, and those few words cannot provide accurate information at all. We can only analyze the current situation based on the actual situation. Xiangyan and Yue should be the two maids of the original owner. This is a wealthy family. Xiangyan is an old maid, and Yue is a new maid. Xiangyan's relationship with the original owner should be good. Yue may have been specially arranged here by someone who wanted to assassinate him and let this girl take action against her. With the original owner in a foolish state, it is impossible to have any grudges with this month. It's just that this girl's two attacks were both on her own bottom. Why did this girl cut my one? Did the original owner ever do anything against her? It's impossible, the original owner is just a fool. No, I don't understand the behavior of fools. Will fools have physiological reactions? There is no way to verify this. Assuming a fool has tarnished her, Yue just wants to cut him off, and this possibility is normal. It cannot be ruled out that this is a common house fighting scene in wealthy families. Forget it, let's not think about it for now. No matter what the reason is, I still have to continue pretending to be foolish, only in this way can I understand the true purpose of the female demon. Damn it. Oh my God, is this a test of my reasoning ability? This is too difficult, isn't it? The original owner's head was just a paste. At this moment, Yue was also full of thoughts, and she finally managed to arrange everything properly. I also made up my mind to take action, but I didn't expect my efforts to fall short. Sigh. This foolish young master is lucky. Why don't you stab him in the chest just now and deal with it with a single blow? He just touched his own body with that thing, why insist on cutting it first? In a dazed stare, she also fell asleep. After a night of silence and the dawn, Yue quietly flipped under the bed and put on her clothes. Glancing at the sleeping two, he secretly took out his dagger and left quietly. At the moment when Yue closed her door, Huang Ye immediately opened her eyes, and her eyes sparkled with brilliance. Chapter 2. Cutting off children and endangering grandchildren, and having fun under the knee. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I haven't slept that night, and the strings in my heart are constantly tense. I don't know if Yue will take action on both of them. It seems that with Xiangyan around, she still has some concerns. Her goal should only be me, and she won't harm the innocent. Hee, if you want me to have no children or grandchildren, I will make you have sex with me. I feel like my body has some strength, but I can't move yet. Look at Xiangyan beside me, this girl, her arms have been held by her all night. Although separated by her underwear, she could still feel Xiangyan's smooth back and instinctively hugged her tightly. If you could use this warm and fragrant soft jade every day, it would be great to travel through it. The original owner was mentally disabled, but he was not. Before crossing over, he was a good young man of the new era, the standard 3: no youth, no house, no car, no money. Because I didn't choose my major well in college, I couldn't find a job after graduation and spent 2 years outside. I have done everything in the past 2 years and also used my spare time to learn various knowledge. I heard that programmers earn more, so I self-taught computer programming and have some programming skills. Finally, I found a game company to work for. The boss who works has a bad temper and swears every day. If he doesn't wear a suit, he is a thug. But this guy is lucky, he's a second-generation demolition. Received a huge demolition payment, and later received guidance to start a game company where I worked. The boss usually comes to work in a dog-like manner. Of course, he didn't come here for work, but for the secretary. I was framed by this secretary with a hot figure. The secretary may not wear it frequently for convenience. I also accidentally saw it myself. Later, when I accidentally saw it again, my secretary caught me and gave me a fierce glare. I still remember the resentful gaze of the little fairy secretary. I was arranged to work overtime on the same day and left the company very late. On the way, I met a few thugs who deliberately picked up trouble and beat him up. As a result, the small body did not withstand the test and directly confessed. When you wake up, you've already arrived here. Thinking about the past, my heart is burning with anger. Huang Ye hopes that the government can seize the mastermind behind the scenes, especially the secretary. Unfortunately, I don't know if I can catch them, the only one who can testify is myself. Because before he died, he saw the boss's car parked not far away, and in that moment he understood everything. Thinking of this, Huang Ye fiercely hugged the delicate body in his arms. A pair of agile big eyes suddenly opened, and the corners of the mouth twitched slightly. When the two looked at each other, Huang Ye's eyes returned to a confused state. Why did the young master's eyes seem a bit bright just now? Xiangyan rubbed her eyes carefully, and when she saw the familiar and confused eyes, she felt a hint of disappointment in her heart. It seems that I was dizzy just now, and that clear gaze should not have appeared on this dull face. Hey! Young master, it would be great if you were a normal person. I'm willing to give birth to countless monkeys for you. Xiangyan's little hand touched Huang Ye's face and whispered softly. After speaking, she closed her eyes and her delicate body leaned closer, feeling very warm. Thinking of being sold here since childhood and always accompanying this handsome man. When I was a child, the young master was clever, but unfortunately, an accident almost caused him to die in the underworld. Reluctantly rescued, the young master also became a fool. Even so, she remained by his side. I have dreamed countless times that the young master has come to his senses, but this dream has never been realized. She had already adapted to this sleeping style, and if it weren't for the butler's rule that the maids would take turns warming the bed, she would want to accompany her every day. I know this is not love, but a kind of care, using her chest to warm this weak child. She takes care of this child more like a mother. There have been 4 or 5 maids accompanying him, and only she has been by the side of the young master. Those maids have already married or become concubines of others, which is their destination. Some people have mentioned media, but they have all been rejected. For no reason, just for one day that dream to come true. The butler also understands her behavior, and in most wealthy households, there are also some maids who serve their masters throughout their lives. Huang Ye, who shared the same bed but had different dreams, was also pondering in his heart. Just now, I was careless and almost exposed myself. He doesn't want to be exposed, he still knows nothing about this world, and the lessons of his past life have made him even more cautious. Hiding oneself is the only way to live better. I am already a person of 2 generations, even without a system, I am not a lamb to be slaughtered. This fool must have to continue pretending. The person next to him who was sleeping inside just now has already revealed his killing intent. It's unclear what attitude this Xiangyan has towards herself. The previous one wanted me to have no children or grandchildren, but if this one wanted me to live forever, it would be really unlucky. Oh my God, you transported me to a fool and sent a female assassin. Why are you playing with me? By the way, I seem to have a special ability to see the surrounding scenery even with my eyes closed. I continued to feel it with my eyes closed, and it was true that as long as my mind turned around, I could see it everywhere. Is this really considered a golden finger? It seems to be of little use, at most, to guard against someone sneaking in from behind. That's not right either. Thanks to this feature, I saved my little life last night. Don't think about it for now, there is still a delicate body in my arms. Anyway, I am a fool and can confidently knead it. Well, it feels great to the touch, smooth and soft, with a faint virgin scent. What is the young master's hand doing? His hands are so warm, how could he take the initiative to explore? This hand has never been moved like this before, what happened today? Well, it's so comfortable and hot. No, I can't stand it anymore. Xiangyan got up and crawled out of bed, taking a look at Huang Ye. This guy must be dreaming, the corners of his mouth are starting to crack. I hugged my shoulders with both hands, feeling a bit cold. I lowered my head and glanced at my belly pocket, which was already quite firm. A bitter smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. He got out of bed, put on his clothes, took out a handkerchief, and wiped the corner of the young master's mouth. I tucked in the corner of my blanket and turned around to leave the house. Xiangyan's movements were clearly visible to Huang Ye. It seems that this Xiangyan is pretty good, with a kind glow in her eyes, as if she is her pet, she should not have any malicious intentions. It seems that this special function is still useful. It is said that one set before another set after another. You can see the facial expressions and movements of the person behind you, so that you can be aware of them beforehand. Just focus on your and clench your fists hard, as if you have some strength. Yesterday I felt like my body was like noodles, and it's very likely that I took medication to lose strength. I took turns moving my fingers and toes, but fortunately, God didn't give me a disability. If you really lack arms and legs, you would have to commit suicide by hanging a beam no matter what you say, it's too bullying. After a while, get out of bed and take a walk to see if both legs can land at the same time. If they grow and fall, I won't live either. No, there should be another place to check. I fumbled for a while, but fortunately, this time it's hard, it seems quite good. This is good news. It seems that last night's medication caused him to lose his virility. It's okay if everything is normal in the body, but I don't know if this brain is naturally stupid or if it becomes stupid after birth. I looked around. What is that? Why is there still a chair with wheels? Sleeping trough, this is a wheelchair, obviously for me to use. Oh my God, are you sure you're not playing with me? Huang Ye's heart is pulling out the cold. Tears of sadness streamed down my eyes. Why did you put me on a fool's body and give me a disabled body, unable to even walk? There is a killer arranged by the pillow, why don't you send me directly to Mengpa? I looked at the red beams of the house with an indescribable expression, my anger lingering for a long time. Isn't that right? Just now when I felt my body, my legs seemed to bend. I also feel it when I touch it, and my toes can move. This should not be a symptom of disability. After conducting various experiments again, I was able to sit up and my legs and feet were normal. Is there a problem with the cerebellum and lack of balance ability? Huang Ye stood up and walked a few laps on the bed, everything was normal. What is the situation? Where exactly is the disability? Huang Ye couldn't figure it out. Lying down again, I suddenly remembered that the original owner was a fool and his cerebellum was likely abnormal. This time, through the impact of time travel, not only brought his own spirit over, but also restored the damaged cerebellum. Simultaneously added a specific function. It is very likely that this is the case, otherwise it would not be possible to explain this inverted image. Chapter 3. Disabled and Stubborn. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Squeezing. The door was pushed open, and Xiangyan walked in with a basin of hot water. Yue followed behind, holding a stack of clothes in her hand. Xiangyan put down the basin and walked to the bed, gently shaking Huang Ye. "Young master, it's time to get up." Huang Ye is very confused, whether he should get up or not, there is no reference. Forget it, just be confused. Sooner or later, if you want to become a normal person, just act according to your own understanding. If you're caught, there's nothing you can do. The moon now is definitely an enemy, and it is uncertain if there are any other enemies. When shaking again, Huang Ye opened his eyes in a daze. Staring blankly at the two. "Yuer, how do I feel that the young master seems to be more serious than before?" "I think the young master is quite normal." The moon answered calmly. "Lying in bed, it seems like I've gone too far. Quickly restore a hint of clarity." Xiangyan's little hand had already lifted the corner of the blanket, and Huang Ye instinctively tugged at the blanket. This girl is so bold, isn't she afraid she's not wearing anything? Lying down, she seems really not afraid. He had no choice but to let go. Young master seems to know he's shy. Sleeping trough, I've played it again, it's really tiring. Yuer, push the wheelchair over. It seems that the original owner is truly disabled, a pitiful and tragic life. How should this be performed? Forget it, pretend to have weak legs. Xiangyan got into bed, gently holding a hot towel, and began wiping Huang Ye's face. Next is the hand, wiping every part very carefully. Don't wipe inside. He wanted to stop, but was afraid of being seen through, so he could only endure this sour feeling. The front chest, back, thighs, calves, without any leakage. Yuer, bring over your underwear. He wants to refuse this cruel way of personal attack, but he cannot. If there was only Xiangyan alone, he could still hold back for a while, but with Yuer around, he could only endure. The two girls showed no signs of shyness, everything was so calm and natural, obviously familiar with the way. They can be calm and natural, Huang Ye cannot. He is already awake and will have a natural reaction. How to deal with swelling. Huang Ye, who was in a hurry and came up with a clever idea, remembered a line and kept muttering it in his heart. South without Amitabha Buddha, south without Amitabha Buddha, south without Amitabha Buddha. Don't say it, it really works. My heart really calmed down and turned into a lying corpse. Allow two maids to play with him. Yuer, do you think the young master's thing is a bit too big? With just one sentence, Huang Ye almost broke through his defense and immediately quickened his pace, imagining the scene of Sun Wukong fighting against the Buddha. Yuer looked at it with disgust, as if it was indeed a bit too big. Cut this thing off sooner or later. After changing clothes, Huang Ye opened his eyes again, still looking confused and occasionally giggling. Yuer, I feel that the young master is indeed a bit abnormal. He used to rarely smile. He's a fool, it's normal to have a silly smile. Yuer, don't say that to the young master. The young master was very healthy when he was young, but his brain was hit and he became like this. Sister Xiangyan, I advise you to get married early. He will be like this in his life. No, if young master is like this for a lifetime, I will serve him for a lifetime. Yuer shook her head, this sister is also foolish. Huang Ye's heart moved, it seemed that Xiangyan was really good to her. As she said, the original owner was not a born fool, he became a fool only after encountering unexpected circumstances. Impact. Did you accidentally hit something yourself, or was it hit by someone? Don't worry, as long as you stabilize and slowly search for clues, you can always find them. Huang Ye was helped onto a wheelchair by the two and pushed out of the room. This place has really good conditions. The courtyard is not big or small, with a complete range of water and rockeries, and a few big trees around it. Lucky enough, at least to wear to a wealthy family, I didn't expect to be a second-generation wealthy person. But which dynasty is this? Judging from this architectural style, it seems to be from the Ming and Qing dynasties, or possibly from the Tang and Song dynasties. Before the Tang and Song dynasties, he was also unclear about what architectural style. The reason why I think so is that I still think this style is similar to these dynasties on TV. The two of them pushed Huang Ye around in the yard, and Huang Ye almost fainted. Can't you let me take a look outside? No matter how beautiful the scenery is, it can be tiring for a long time. Yue, bring the young master's food and we'll feed him in the yard. Damn it. How could she go and serve the vegetables? She wouldn't dare to eat even if she killed herself. No, we must get rid of this situation. As Yue left, Huang Ye was also thinking, although on the surface, Xiangyan was very kind to him. But his time in this world was too short to judge Xiangyan's thoughts. There is no information about their past, and they can only gamble. This kind of wealthy family is by no means as simple as it appears. You must endure it, this fool still needs to pretend. Yue brought a food box, which contains several exquisite dishes and a bowl of rice. The aroma of the dishes is overflowing, and Huang Ye is very hungry, and even the hungry heart feels a bit anxious. Just seeing the moon, it feels like these dishes are all snakes, scorpions, and poisonous insects. Young master, it's time for dinner. Xiangyan gently handed the spoon to Huang Ye's mouth. Huang Ye's mouth closed tightly. Open your mouth, I'll feed you. Huang Ye still tightly closed his mouth. What's wrong with the young master? Is it because the young master is not hungry that he doesn't want to eat? Yue analyzed. Unfortunately, Huang Ye's stomach couldn't resist making a gurgling sound. Xiangyan looked at Huang Ye strangely. It was obvious that she was hungry. Why didn't the young master open his mouth? Young master, be good, the food is delicious. If you don't eat, your stomach will protest. Huang Ye's mouth remained tightly closed. The two maids stared at each other with big eyes and small eyes. Yue, you can take it back first and eat it when the young master wants to. Yue obediently carried away the food box. Huang Ye dare not look at that food box, he is afraid of his stomach making noise again. This meal has finally been fooled through, but we can't always be so hungry. No need to eat too much. If you don't eat 2 meals, your stamina will greatly decrease. If you go hungry for 2 or 3 days, Yue can easily grasp him. Make sure to find a way to eat. By the way, these wealthy families usually have pavilions where they often put some desserts. Take advantage of Xiaoya's absence and go outside to see if there is such a pavilion. Ah. Huang Ye pointed towards the crescent gate in the courtyard. Xiangyan was taken aback and looked at Huang Ye strangely, seeing that he was still pointing at the crescent gate. Strange, how could the young master point to that door? Does he want to go out? She was hesitating. The mistress prohibited the young master from being discharged, and once they left the yard, they would definitely be punished. After thinking for a moment, I couldn't help but think that since the young master wanted to go out, he would sneak out as long as he wasn't discovered by the mistress. This is the first time the young master has taken the initiative to do something, bravely pushing Huang Ye towards the crescent gate. Leaving the yard, Huang Ye was completely stunned by the sight outside. Sleeping trough, what kind of family is this? How could it be so arrogant? This large courtyard, looking around, is full of green, with long corridors in each direction. Several corridors lead to different places, and the scenery here blends with Suzhou gardens. There is also a small lake in the middle of the courtyard, and there is really a small pavilion on the lake. A water-curved corridor leads to this small pavilion. My eyesight seems to be very good, I can actually see things inside the pavilion. In his past life, he was nearsighted, with glasses that matched the bottom of the bottle. He was lying under the bed looking at his phone. There is a stone table in the pavilion, on which there are tea sets and some plates, clearly containing food. It seems that I guessed right. In such a wealthy family, this set of things will definitely be available. Huang Ye quickly pointed to that pavilion. Ah, ah. Xiangyan frowned. The young master is really strange today. She had planned to push the young master around the entrance of the small courtyard, but it would be far away from the pavilion. Pushing past requires at least one stick of incense, making it easy for people to see. Young master, you can't go there. Chapter 4. This assassin is not very calm. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Ah, ah. Huang Ye still pointed at the small pavilion. Forget it, if you don't get beaten up, young master really wants to go there like this. Perhaps the young master wants to see the water scenery. With a horizontal heart, he pushed Huang Ye straight towards the small pavilion. She was also heart-pounding all the way, but fortunately during this time it was meal time and no one was walking outside. At the small pavilion, Huang Ye almost didn't shed tears of excitement. There are 4 plates on the stone table, each with 8 cakes stacked on top. Xiangyan pushed Huang Ye around the small pavilion, letting him appreciate the scenery of the small lake. This can make Huang Ye so anxious that he scratches his heart and liver. I had no choice but to point to the stone table in the middle. Ah! What desserts does the young master want to eat? Huang Ye nodded vigorously, unsure if the original owner would respond, and prepared to give it a try. Fortunately, Xiangyan didn't have any abnormal reactions. It seems that the original owner has a certain level of expressive ability. Xiangyan pushed the wheelchair to the stone table, picked up a pastry, and handed it to Huang Ye's mouth. Huang Ye rudely opened his mouth and almost ate Xiangyan's green onion and jade fingers. Xiangyan was startled and quickly pulled out her finger to look at Huang Ye chewing heavily. I couldn't help but laugh and say, "Cluck, young master, I thought you weren't hungry. It turns out you were already hungry. It seems that you didn't like the food just now." Nonsense, can I not like it, but no matter how much I like it, I dare not eat it. Xiangyan poured a cup of tea and handed it to her mouth, while Huang Ye drank it all in one gulp. I didn't feel hungry until I ate 10 pieces of 4 types of pastries. The pastry is indeed well made. I have never tasted such a delicious pastry in my past life. It is fragrant, glutinous, soft, and sweet. The rest must be taken back. With these pastries, it can last for at least 2 to 3 days. With these 2 or 3 days, one can learn a lot. Thinking of this, Huang Ye lifted his front and poured the remaining pastries into it. This move startled Xiangyan. What's wrong, young master? Surprisingly able to perform purposeful actions. Has the young master's consciousness begun to recover? The little girl is very happy. Young master, it's not clean like this. If you like to eat pastries, I'll go to the kitchen to get them for you. After speaking, I will take out those pastries. Seeing Huang Ye still holding tightly, I had to give up. Looking up, I suddenly saw a group of people walking towards here in the distance. Damn it! It's the second young master, secretly feeling unlucky in his heart. Without considering anything else, quickly pushed the wheelchair back. Unfortunately, I rushed too quickly and was still stuck in the corridor by incoming people. Yo-ho! Isn't this my silly little brother? Good morning, second young master. Xiangyan said lightly with a blessing. The second young master didn't pay attention to her, but looked at Huang Ye. Huang Ye looked at the second young master with confusion in his eyes. He is the second young master and even calls him his younger brother. It seems that this person is the second brother of the original owner. This guy clearly came from a bad source. The second young master was dressed in a brocade robe, tall and thin, with an eagle nose and eagle eyes, and a standard cunning appearance. Sleeping in bed, I don't look very similar to him, do I? That's not good enough. This trash face is not pleasing anywhere. If the version here is a house fighting drama, this second brother must have a role. The second young master saw that Huang Ye was still the same as before, and his mouth even started to crack. I couldn't help but laugh and say, why did you push him out? You have to be careful, in case you fall into the lake, it will be fun. After finishing speaking, she deliberately kicked the wheelchair, and Xiangyan was so scared that she quickly helped the wheelchair. The second young master is joking, I will take good care of the third young master. Hee, I hope he falls into the lake so you can get to my yard. I don't know what you're thinking, by blind, such a beautiful woman who follows a fool and never gives up. After speaking, he reached out to touch Xiangyan's small face. Xiangyan dodged and said, second young master, please take care of yourself. Self-respecting fart, if it weren't for my grandmother covering you up, I would have fucked you long ago. Xiangyan remained silent. What is this kid holding? It's nothing, just some pastries. Oh. It seems that he likes to eat pastries. Tomorrow, I will send someone to deliver some to him, and he is also my younger brother. Thank you, second young master. If our young master wants to eat, I will go and pick it up myself. Second young master, please make way. We should go back now. Humph. It's something you don't know for sure. Send him back, you go and receive the punishment yourself. I remember Madam didn't let him leave the yard. I will go. It's good if you know. Xiangyan pushed Huang Ye back to the courtyard. Hee, it seems that this second young master is very unfriendly. Could you ever be sent by him? I turned out to be the third young master. In my past life, I read a novel called The Sword of the Third Young Master. Sigh. The third young master is a talented person, and compared to him, he is nothing but trash. This Xiangyan is quite good. She is willing to be punished and also needs to meet her own demands. It seems that she does not have any malicious intentions. Just have someone who is good to you, so you can learn about this wealthy family from Xiangyan. Based on the attitude of the second brother just now, one thing is certain. At least this is a house fight scene. Sister Xiangyan, why did you push the young master out? Aren't you afraid of being punished? It's nothing, I see the young master being stuck here every day, so I want to take him outside to see if he gets whipped a few times. I really don't understand you, is it worth it for him? Yue asked in confusion. Worth it, why not? The young master was very smart when he was young. He read a lot of books, and I learned how to read. You don't know, when the young master went out just now, he actually put away those pastries by himself. In all these years, this is the first time that the young master has taken the initiative to do something. So this time it's worth it. I can laugh even when I get whipped. Upon hearing Xiangyan's words, Yue's heart moved and she frowned. Why did he bring back these pastries? It reminded him of the strangeness of last night, and a cold sweat rushed out from his back. This foolish young master won't really start to wake up. Yue, take care of the young master for a while, and I will go to the butler to receive the punishment. Well, you go. Xiangyan left the courtyard. Young master, let's go back to our room first. After speaking, he pushed the wheelchair towards the room. Entering the room, Yue turned around and closed the door. When she turned around, the dagger reappeared in her hand. Looking at Huang Ye with a gloomy expression, the small hand holding the dagger trembled slightly. Walking lightly behind Huang Ye, holding up the dagger, hesitating for a while before finally letting it go. After a moment, he raised the dagger again, still hesitating in the air. What is this little girl hesitating about? Is it because I am afraid that after the assassination is successful, I cannot escape and dare not take action? Huang Ye said. His muscles are also in a highly tense state at this moment, and if the dagger is swung, he will jump out without hesitation. Yue finally took the dagger back. Huang Ye's hanging heart has also fallen, and it cannot be exposed yet. It still takes time to understand everything. Although I was just an ordinary person in my past life, after all, I lived in an era of information explosion and knew much more about things than ancient people. Only by hiding oneself can we better protect ourselves. Yue is not a big concern, there must be someone behind her, otherwise she wouldn't have had the heart to kill a fool. Why is this girl crying? The plot is not right. This assassin's heart is also too fragile. It seems that this assassin is not very calm. Silently sobbing a few times, Yue took a deep breath to calm her mood. Young master, I will serve you to bed. Young master, these pastries are already dirty. I will replace them for you. Huang Ye still held on to the pastry tightly, and she had no choice but to take off his robe. Supporting Huang Ye to bed, Huang Ye lay on the bed holding pastries. Judging from his appearance, Yue didn't know how to deal with it, so she decided to wait for Xiangyan to come back. Sit down at the table and stare blankly at this fool. What is on my mind is the strange phenomenon from last night to today. Last night was a carefully planned action by her, but she didn't expect to be stabbed twice. I can only look for another opportunity. Fortunately there are still some remaining 10 fragrance soft muscle powder. It seems that he really enjoys eating pastries. Next time, put the medicine in the pastry. Half an hour later, Xiangyan returned with a pale face and a tightly closed mouth. Her hair was already wet with sweat, and she frowned tightly as she limped into the room. Sister Xiangyan, you're not lightly injured, are you? It's okay, I can hold on, I'll be fine in a few days. You should go back and rest for 2 days. I can take care of you alone, young master. Xiangyan hesitated for a moment. I won't go back, I'll rest here with the young master, and I'll have to trouble my sister a lot. Yue was taken aback. This is not a good thing. How can I take action while you are here? She had no choice. Xiangyan was very close to this foolish young master, and it was normal for the two of them to warm up their beds here. Okay, it's good for sister to rest here. I'll bring the medicine to apply to you, and then I'll get you a set of clothes. Your clothes are already torn and there are still blood stains on them. Xiangyan held on to the edge of the bed and dared not sit down. What's going on? Sister, do you have any bugs in your mind? It's a bit disrespectful of me to apply medicine and change clothes in my room. Also, your image of pouting your butt and supporting the edge of the bed is very indecent. It's really frustrating. My body flipped over and my head rushed into the bed. Where did I wear this in chapter 5? You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Just turning my head inside doesn't seem to work, I can still see the scenery behind me. Sleeping slot, my goodness, you gave me this superpower, it seems like it's exclusively for peeping. Seeing Xiangyan's grinning expression, Huang Ye also clenched his fists, and an inexplicable anger rose in his heart. He, second young master, right. I already remember you. Since you are not kind to my younger brother, don't blame me for my injustice. I will not avenge you as a gentleman. Squeezing. Yue came in holding her clothes. There was a small box on the clothes, and Huang Ye buried his head in the blanket, afraid he couldn't bear it. The scene of changing clothes is too eye-catching, making it easy to get nosebleeds. After a moment, the sound of hiss rang in my ear. Huang Ye listened carefully, getting dirty and jumping. Sister, they really need to take action. That's already good. Steward Wu pleaded, and I only got beaten 5 times. These 5 moves are tough enough, my little fart is almost bursting. The two of them were busy for a while before Xiangyan was helped to bed. Sister, hello, stay in bed for 2 days while I take care of you too. Thank you, sister. Sister, you're welcome. I'll cover you with blankets. The soft and delicate body leaned against Huang Ye's body. Yue tidied up and went out. Huang Ye's head also crawled out of the bed. Turning his head and looking at Xiangyan lying on the ground, his heart couldn't help but tremble. Subconsciously, he asked, does it hurt a lot? Xiangyan suddenly opened her eyes and stared blankly at Huang Ye. Ah! Exclaimed in surprise, her small mouth wide open, and her face full of confusion. Young master, were you talking earlier? Xiangyan asked with a trembling voice. She had already seen the clear eyes of Huang Ye, without any trace of confusion. Well, I said it hurts a lot. A small hand reached out and touched Huang Ye's face, pinching hard. Lying in bed, you should be pinching yourself, right? Huang Ye frowned. Young master, I'm not dreaming, are you really awake? Huang Ye smiled and nodded lightly. Scream. The little girl's tears flowed down like a continuous stream of river water. Xiangyan didn't look at him and buried her head in the pillow. Woo-woo. I started crying and my shoulders kept shaking. Huang Ye reached out and wanted to pat her back, hanging in the air, but it didn't fall for a long time. Finally, she fell down and gently patted Xiangyan's back. Alright, stop crying. I'll wake up and everything will be okay. Don't worry, I won't let you get beaten for nothing. Woo-woo. Xiangyan continued to sob for a while before turning her head to look at Huang Ye. Young master, I deserve to be beaten, I deserve too much. You don't have to defend me, it's my voluntary choice. If you don't get beaten, you may not be clear-headed yet. I don't have time to be happy now, servant. After speaking, the tearful little face had already bloomed with a smile. Alright, you should rest well first. I'm fine, it's just a pain that makes me unable to sleep. I'm afraid if I fall asleep, it will turn into a dream. Hee, silly girl, this is not a dream, I am indeed awake. By the way, you are the only one who knows about my sobriety. Don't tell anyone, including Yuer. Young master, it's good for you to be clear-headed. Why didn't anyone tell you? Just do as I instructed. Young master, Yuer also serves you. I think she should know that it's difficult for us to keep it from her. Do you know why I brought the pastry back? Do you know why I don't have breakfast? Ah. So the young master woke up long ago. That's right. Xiangyan's face turned red. When did the young master finally wake up? Could it be that she woke up last night? She was too embarrassed to ask, but she had been stuck in the arms of the young master all night. Young master, do you mean you are acting for Yuer to see? That's right, I don't trust anyone except you. Xiangyan understands now. The young master's intention is for me to cooperate well with you. Well, I've been foolish for so many years, all my previous memories have disappeared and I don't remember anything. Today, the second young master clearly had ill intentions towards me, so he wanted to hide himself. That's right, he has always been hostile towards you. I can understand that in such a big family, family ties and everything else are fleeting. By the way, what dynasty is it now? Dynasty. What does the young master mean by asking? Emperor. What is an emperor? Huang Ye was taken aback, didn't she? This girl doesn't even know the emperor. This is a wealthy family, so it's impossible to be completely ignorant of the affairs of the court. The emperor is the greatest official, the great boss who manages a country. Young master, I don't know anything you're asking, so I'll tell you what I know. The place we live in is a city, and you are the Lord's son. To be precise, you are the Lord's stepson, and your father is a good friend of the Lord. I heard that your father passed away unexpectedly when you were very young, and your mother fell ill and passed away shortly thereafter. After they passed away one after another, you were adopted by the city lord. Our biggest official here is the city lord, I haven't heard of any emperors. Lying trough. Where exactly have I traveled? Huang Ye is a bit confused, it doesn't match history. Is there a king here? I haven't heard of this either. What is the current calendar? What is a calendar? Is it the year, month, and day? I know this, now it's June 7th, 37658, Chen Yuan. What? Huang Ye is completely confused, lying down. Oh my God, you're playing with me. For over 37,000 years, what kind of time and space is this? I have at least learned the history of my own country when I was in school, and with that knowledge, I should be able to make a living. But this place is a blank space for me, I have to explore everything myself. I have also watched the Yu opera before, and I have traveled to dynasties such as Zhu Yuanzhang, Li Shimin, and Kangxi. I am sure the protagonists in the novel will be even more powerful. But now when I wear it here, it's no different from Xiao Bai. How could I be so unlucky? Young master, you seem unhappy, Qinger asked as she looked at Huang Ye with an unpleasant expression. It's nothing, I just woke up and didn't quite adapt. By the way, is there a sun, moon, or star here? This has. How many hours is that day? What is an hour? How is time calculated? It seems that the young master has no memory at all. Here, a day is 12 hours, with 6 hours occupied by day and 6 hours occupied by night. Huang Ye was determined in his heart, it seemed that there was not much difference between this place and the ancient past. What does that Chen Yuan mean? I don't know about this either, but I've been using it here to calculate every day. Huang Ye is a bit confused. If Qin Yuan represents a dynasty, which dynasty can withstand more than 30,000 years without collapsing? It seems that there is indeed no country here, and people may follow a default calendar. It is difficult for the maid, Qinger, who does not step out of the main gate, to understand the full picture of this place. I won't think about these for now. What needs to be solved now is the survival problem. I don't seem to be an ordinary person, at least I have a special ability to see things behind me. I don't know if there are any other differences in my body, but now I feel very energetic. Qinger, when did I become foolish? Young master, you started to become foolish when you were 10 years old. Oh. Did you suddenly become foolish? No, you were injured by someone that year. Who did it? The lord of the city has not found out. When you were discovered, the back of your brain was covered in blood and there was no breath at all. Later, the city lord used a 1,000-year-old person to participate in the treatment of Dr. Shui, and it was only then that you regained your breath. After waking up, you become foolish and unable to walk. By the way, young master, do you feel anything on your legs? There should be. Ah. Really, then you should be able to walk around too. Have you had any reaction when I touch you? After speaking, regardless of whether Huang Ye agreed or not, he turned around in pain and touched his thigh with his small hand. Gently pinched, how are you, do you feel anything? Have move your little hands down, feeling and groping, until your calves come to a stop. What about here? Alright, you don't need to touch it anymore, you can feel it. And I don't feel anything unusual, my legs can bend, and my toes can move. After speaking, he deliberately shook his legs. He didn't dare to let his little hands touch him anymore, it was too soft and comfortable. Qinger's tears flowed uncontrollably again. Alright, stop crying. I should be back to normal now. I'm just happy. Young master, do you feel anything in that place? Qinger asked with a red face. Chapter 6. The Maid is a Practitioner. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This translator is experiencing an error, please try another translator. Chapter 7. Wants to give birth to a monkey for the young master. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yuer saw Huang Ye staring blankly at the roof of the shed, and her heart slightly calmed down. He looks normal like this, as long as he is patient, there will be a chance sooner or later. Young master, it's time for lunch. Huang Ye still stared at the ceiling. Yuer pushed Qinger, and Qinger opened her hazy eyes. Sister, it's time for dinner. Yuer brought the food box to the bed. Qinger reluctantly turned her body to prepare for dinner, but Huang Ye still didn't react. Sister, it seems that the young master doesn't want to eat. It's okay, he shouldn't be hungry. He ate a lot of pastries this morning. Qinger finished eating hastily, while Yuer withdrew with her food box in hand. Young master, why don't you eat it? I can't believe her. Oh. The young master suspects her. Hee, this girl is not easy. Huang Ye still doesn't want to talk about the assassination of Yue. Although Xiangyan is reliable, in such an environment, being reliable is not very useful, and she also needs to know how to act. If Xiangyan develops hostility towards Yue is likely to notice abnormalities. He doesn't want to take action against Yue for the time being, at least he needs to find out who the black hand behind Yue is. Keeping an assassin by your side can also constantly increase your alertness. At this moment, Xiangyan was also a bit confused. It was too painful just now, and she didn't think deeply about the abnormal behavior of the young master after he woke up. Looking back carefully now, the young master doesn't seem to be as clear-headed as he was just now. When he was unconscious, he was only 10 years old and still a child. But his behavior just now was very strange, a bit like the cunning of Butler Wu. Another thing is what he inquired about, many terms have never been heard of. I entered the mansion at a very young age, although I couldn't keep up with the knowledgeable and rational young lady, I still read and read. I have read a lot of books, which I have never heard of before. How did the young master know? Never mind, it's a good thing that the young master wakes up. Sigh. I don't know when the young master can take me, I really want to give birth to a monkey for the young master. Xiangyan, do you feel unwell? Huang Ye interrupted Xiangyan's thoughts. What aspect does the young master refer to? Do you have any strength in your body? Xiangyan moved her arms. It's okay, there's nothing unusual, it's just that I ate my stomach last night. Huang Ye thought for a moment, maybe because Xiangyan was by her side, Yue didn't dare to take action. Her goal should be just me, at least this girl has no intention of harming innocent people now. The two of them stayed in this state until night, and Huang Ye became hungry and ate a few cakes. The dinner sent by Yue still hasn't been eaten by Huang Ye. Although there was also a plate of pastry in the meal sent this time, Huang Ye didn't even look at it. Yue, you don't need to come over tonight. It's too difficult for me to turn over. I can take care of you here, young master. That's hard work, sister. Not long after Yue carried her food box out, Huang Ye slowly sat up. Gently flipped over Xiangyan. Young master, you are really normal now. After speaking, he lightly jumped. That's not right, it feels like my body is very light. Does this world, like the moon, have a gravity of only 1/6 that of Earth? No, everyone else's walking is normal, it shouldn't be due to gravity. It must have been through time that this body underwent a transformation. With a slight force, it jumped to the height of the beam. Lying down, I didn't use much force yet and jumped over 2 meters high. In his past life, he was a formidable presence and a deserving Olympic high jump champion. A significant increase in jumping ability is a good thing, at least the leg strength is now very strong. He clenched his fist and punched in the void at a fast pace, which made him very excited. After practicing a combination of boxing techniques, I feel like my speed is very fast. Is it natural for people in this world to do so? This combination technique only imitates the boxing techniques in boxing matches, and he has not learned it. Those boxing masters are all bouncing and swinging their left and right punches continuously. Looking at myself, even if I haven't practiced before, I can still become a boxing master in my past life, and another Olympic champion has been born. After stretching his fists and feet, he was ready to test his strength. After looking around, I couldn't find the object of the experiment, only to see Xiangyan staring at him with wide eyes and a surprised expression on her face. What kind of monster is young master? How could he jump so high just after landing, and how could he punch so fast? What is his legs bouncing back and forth on the ground doing? Is it epilepsy? Young master, it seems that you have practiced martial arts now, similar to those guards in the mansion. Oh. How many guards are there in the mansion? About 20, but they are just low-level guards. There are still 3 worshippers in the mansion, who are the main force truly protecting the Lord's mansion. Oh, do they have realm divisions? I know the guards, they are all warriors, all in the martial arts realm, and the captain of the guards is in the martial king realm. I heard from the guards that the 3 worshippers are also King Wu, and only the city lord is in the realm of Emperor Wu. Oh. Do you know how their martial artists' realms are divided? I don't know much either. I only know that at the beginning, I was a martial artist, followed by a martial artist. Above the martial artist was the King of Wu, and above the King of Wu was the Emperor of Wu. I don't know what it means to go further up. Huang Ye said, it seems that this is indeed a world that prioritizes martial arts. The stronger the strength, the higher the status. No wonder there are no emperors or kings in this world, and the city lord is a warrior. How could a warrior be like a secular prince or general? The news that Xiangyan brought him is not good news. The 3 offerings are already in the realm of King Wu. Just now, Xiangyan described herself as having similar abilities to the guards, and compared to the 3 of them, she was not average frailty. It's hard to say if these offerings are related to several concubines of the Lord. If there is really a connection, then his level of danger will increase several times. It's better to go outside and find something to test your strength. It's also good to give oneself an accurate positioning. Listen outside, there's nothing unusual. Gently push open the door, and the courtyard is very quiet. After thinking for a moment, she pushed the wheelchair over. Although Xiangyan told him that no one would come at night, she still had to be prepared. If someone comes over and doesn't have time to return to the house, they can quickly get into a wheelchair. Young master, why don't I also leave? No need, you're good to lie on your stomach and recuperate. I'll take a walk around the yard and come back. Huang Ye cautiously pushed the wheelchair into the yard, set it aside, and tiptoed to the crescent gate. Looking outside, the courtyard under the moonlight was very quiet. At this time, except for occasional patrolling guards, the people in the mansion hardly move around. It seems that my eyesight has also greatly improved. If in the past life, this kind of night had a visibility of no more than 20 meters, but now you can see scenery about 50 meters. It seems that although God did not give me a system, it has greatly improved my physical functions. I don't know if I am qualified to cultivate immortality now. If one can also cultivate immortality, they will develop, and the lifespan of cultivators will definitely exceed that of mortals. After confirming safety, Huang Ye observed around the small courtyard. He wants to find an iron or wooden stick to test his strength. Damn it, there's nothing left. After circling around, there's still nothing to test, not even bricks or tiles. This doesn't work, at least a simple experiment needs to be conducted and there should be no traces left. Chapter 8. I am a slam dunk master. You are listening at novelfull.audio. With it, he glanced at a big tree in the yard. This big tree looks old at first glance, with a trunk full of one person hugging it. You can try using this big tree to show off your boxing skills. Turn to the back of the big tree. Well, this direction works, even if it breaks, the likelihood of being discovered is not high. Standing still, without exerting all his strength, he used about 2 or 3 points of strength and punched out. With a loud bang, the fist hit the trunk of the tree. The big tree remained motionless, not even shaking its leaves. Although the punch just now didn't shake the big tree, I didn't feel much pain either. The action of force is not mutual, why is there no pain? Has one's sense of touch and pain nerves also weakened? No, it shouldn't be like this. Just now, when I punched, my fist touched the bark and I could feel the unevenness of the bark. I looked at the fist surface and there was no damage. It seems that we can increase our strength. This time, give it a try with half of your strength and hit it with another punch. With a loud bang, the sound made this time was much louder. Although the trunk didn't react much, the leaves above clearly shook. Glancing at the bark again, the bombardment just now actually broke it. Young master, come back quickly. Your voice is too loud. Xiangyan leaned against the door frame and shouted softly. Huang Ye also knew that sound could travel far in the quiet night, so he quickly rushed to the wheelchair and pushed it back into the room. Close the door and take a glance at Xiangyan. I'm not telling you not to get up. I'm a bit worried. Don't worry, I have a sense of propriety. Huang Ye helped Xiangyan to the bedside, and Xiangyan was about to lie down on the bed. Wait, I'll carry you up. Huang Ye had a sudden idea. Xiangyan's face turned red. Although she used to sleep together, the young master was a fool at that time. Now that the young master is awake, she is somewhat shy. Huang Ye didn't care about this, just picked up the girl horizontally, weighed it with his arm, and then placed it on the bed. I feel that Xiangyan's body is very light. Xiangyan's figure is about 1.6 meters, and her body shape is neither fat nor thin. Based on her previous experience of carrying rice, this girl's weight should be around 50 kilograms. It seems that my strength has greatly improved. Previously, he had to use all his strength to lift 100 pounds of rice, but now he feels like he can easily swing Xiangyan up. The current strength can hold up at least 3 Xiangyan. I didn't expect to use this method to test my strength. I really took off my pants and farted just now when I went out for a lap. Xiangyan, do you know how heavy you weigh? I don't know recently, but I measured it once before. It was 90 pounds and I was 6 feet and 9 feet tall. I don't think I asked about your height. Huang Ye didn't pay attention to this data. The measurements here are definitely different from those in previous lives. There should be a standard for this value. Suddenly, footsteps came from outside the courtyard and I hurriedly got into bed. What's wrong? Someone is coming outside. When the visitor arrived nearby, they stopped and did not enter the small courtyard. Huang Ye faintly heard the voices outside. The sound just now seemed to come from this direction. It looks like there's nothing unusual. This is the residence of the third young master. Are we still going inside to see? No need, just a fool. Even if something goes wrong, no one cares. Let's go, we just need to ensure the safety of other areas. The two of them hurriedly left after finishing speaking. Xiangyan, can you hear them talking? It seems like someone is talking, but I can't hear what is being said clearly. It seems that my ear strength has also greatly improved. This is not bad, although time travel has not given oneself a system, it has comprehensively improved physical fitness. The system is nothing more than adding skills, publishing tasks, and giving a gift package after completion. Although the system can eliminate the process of cultivation progress, it also loses a lot of fun. As long as you work hard, you may not be worse than a system person. Now that I have enough foundation, as long as I am willing to learn, I can get rid of the current unfavorable situation. Xiangyan, who taught you martial arts? Those guards have all taught me. At the beginning, I secretly watched them practice martial arts. Later, I was discovered and they saw that I was young and didn't say anything, so they allowed me to watch from the sidelines. Sometimes they even teach me a few moves, but in fact, my martial arts are very average, they are all simple self-defense skills. Huang Ye was a bit disappointed. He thought that Xiangyan could have martial arts secrets and he could take a look at them himself. Young master, you didn't practice martial arts when you were a child, did you? I don't know, I don't have any impression. Just now, I saw your punch in the yard. It was very fast and powerful, even shaking the leaves. This is not something that ordinary people can do. Although inferior to those guards, the difference is not significant. They are all martial artists who have been practicing martial arts since childhood. It's strange that you have been lying in bed for 5 years and have this kind of strength as soon as you wake up. It means your young master is not an ordinary person. Well, the young master is the best, the young master is the best. After speaking, without any hesitation, he pressed his delicate body against Huang Ye's body, and even the pain seemed to have eased. "Young master, you should take a servant. I don't want any status, I only want to serve you for a lifetime." Huang Ye was taken aback for a moment. This girl seemed very avant-garde. "Qinger, your injury hasn't healed yet. It's okay, I can hold back. You see, everyone has reacted." Huang Ye thought to himself, "I am a normal person. If you stick it up like this, I won't react. Isn't that a eunuch? But this girl is too enthusiastic, even ignoring the pain. Qinger, wait until you recover from your injury." "I just recovered and haven't adapted yet." "Okay, in a few days, as long as the young master is willing to let me know." Huang Ye couldn't refuse Qinger's unreasonable demands. "Although I don't know what she thinks, being able to guard for so many years, the little girl must have an obsession with Huang Ye when she was a child. If it weren't for him crossing over to this body, this girl would likely have guarded it for a lifetime. This is a debt owed by his predecessor. He inherited this body and will have to repay the debt. In fact, this is not a strange thing in modern society. He doesn't know how this society judges this aspect, just be good at yourself." The next morning, Qinger's pain had almost relieved. "Although walking may be a bit uncomfortable, you can still walk on the ground." Yue still brought the food box early in the morning, so Huang Ye naturally wouldn't eat it. She still ate those pastries honestly. A mundane day passed, and at night, Huang Ye walked out of the room again. This time, he was ready to test his jumping ability. "Go to the bottom of that big tree and visually inspect the lowest branch, which is about 5 meters high. Jump gently in place and grab the branch of the tree with both hands. Lying down, this jumping ability is definitely a reliable champion for participating in the Olympics, and there is still no state of running up. In his previous life, he only skipped a record high of 1.2 meters, but now he has almost doubled it. Try again to see how high a full jump can be." I took a few steps to run up, and with a whoosh, I stood steadily on the branches of the tree. Oh my goodness, I jumped 5 meters high. Huang Ye couldn't believe it and looked under the tree, only to see that he had indeed jumped so high. This bouncing power completely surprised him. If he had a basketball, he would definitely be a slam dunk expert. What Cherry Blossom Path, Maple or Jordan, Kobe, James, are all weak chickens in front of him. It really seems like traveling back, allowing these famous basketball masters in their past lives to see their own strength. Chapter 9. Xiangyan's Physical Training. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Jumping down from the tree, Huang Ye felt very happy and returned to the room happily. The young master looks as if he has picked up a money bag. What's so happy about? I just tried my jumping ability in the yard and was able to jump 5 meters high. It's just a miracle. Young master, what you said after waking up is strange. What are these 5 meters? Isn't rice used for eating? Rice is my newly invented unit of measurement, and 5 meters is the height of the lowest branch of that big tree. Young master, that tree branch doesn't seem high, it's only about 2 zhang. 2 zhang is not high, higher than both of us combined. Yes, it's not easy for the young master to jump so high as soon as he wakes up. The young master is so powerful, and I just managed to jump up. Huang Ye was taken aback for a moment. The way this girl struck people seemed very gentle, but Qinger's next sentence hurt even more severely. Young master, if that tree branch is 5 meters high, those guards in the mansion should be able to jump 10 meters. Huang Ye's face immediately collapsed. He forgot that this was not in his past life, and he couldn't compare his current achievements with his past life. His jumping ability may be higher than that of an ordinary person, but compared to trained warriors, he is still weak and explosive. No, we must strengthen our training. Even the guards can easily abuse him. Even if he wants to run, they can easily catch him. Nowadays, this world is not where good people are bullied, but where weak people are bullied. Starting today, let's practice physical fitness using traditional methods. After thinking about the methods of physical training in my past life, I was the first to choose push-ups. I did 50 consecutive push-ups and didn't feel much. In my past life, I would have been lying down after doing 30 things. Why do I compare myself to my past life when I go there? Switching to one-handed push-ups, I still didn't feel anything and easily did 50. Xiangyan looked at Huang Ye's movements very strangely. Although she was uninformed, she had seen such movements during the training of the dormitory maids in the mansion. Is it possible that the young master is practicing certain abilities? Thinking of this, my face warmed and my heart skipped a beat. Xiangyan, you lie on top of me. Xiangyan was taken aback for a moment. What did the young master ask her to lie on her body for? Does the young master want to do that shy thing on the ground? Brainstorm the scene. Her face is even hotter. It's just that the young master's current posture is not right, he should be on top. Even if the young master is below, he should face himself. Xiangyan walked over and waited for Huang Ye to turn over, but this guy still maintained his previous posture. Young master, you need to turn around. Also, it's best for you to lay a mat underneath. You just recovered and the ground is very cold. Huang Ye was taken aback for a moment. How do you do push-ups when you turn around, and you don't need to lay a mattress, right? Suddenly taken aback, I understood why Xiangyan said that. It seemed that this girl was ready to dedicate herself at any time. Xiangyan, you're thinking crooked. I'm exercising, just lie on my back and hug me. Xiangyan's face turned completely into a red cloth. This guy is really a pit girl. Honestly, lying on Huang Ye's back, holding him tightly with both hands, the soft flesh on his chest had deformed. Under pressure, Huang Ye almost went berserk and cursed again. I focused on doing push-ups, which calmed down the impulse. With a weight of over 90 pounds, the effect is much better. The two of them rose and fell for 200 times, and Huang Ye finally sweated profusely. Although the posture is ambiguous, Huang Ye is very satisfied. Xiangyan, you can go down now. Xiangyan, who was enjoying herself with her eyes closed, just opened her eyes. She felt very good just now, as if she was constantly bumping in a small boat. But the small boat was very stable, giving her a sense of peace of mind. The young master's back was also very broad and comfortable to lie on. Young master, you're sweating all over. I'll boil water to wash you. Is your body okay? It's much better now, the pain is not much anymore, walking is not a problem. Okay then. You bring the water and I'll wash it myself. Huang Ye had no choice, he couldn't get out. In fact, he really wanted to swim around the small lake. Now my body is covered in a foul smell of sweat. This smell enters the bed, not to mention that Xiangyan can't bear it, he can't bear it himself. Half an hour later, Xiangyan came in carrying a basin of water and brought a set of underwear. Young master, I will undress you. No need, I can wash it myself. No, I have to wash it for you. In the past, I used to wash it for you frequently, and I knew all the savings on your body clearly. Ah. That was before, I didn't know anything, but now I'm clear-headed and can wash myself. Being sober is not enough. I have become accustomed to it, and not washing will make me feel uncomfortable. Sleeping slut, your reason is really bizarre. Forget it, just wash it. Xiangyan skillfully took off his clothes. Huang Ye is gazing at the sky with both eyes, silently reciting Amitabha Buddha in the south. Xiangyan washed very carefully and didn't miss a single spot. When washing the bottom, he deliberately pulled back and forth, and Huang Ye almost didn't cry. Young master, you are much older than before. Huang Ye didn't respond. Now silence is better than sound. Unfortunately, it's too late now to wash properly in a wooden bucket. Is this fairy going to torture people to death? That spell has long since expired, just maintaining a trace of rationality. After washing, Xiangyan put on her underwear for him. Huang Ye rushed onto the bed with a whoosh, continuing to close her eyes and recite scriptures. Not long after, Xiangyan brought in another basin of water. After entering, he began to undress himself. "Oh my goodness, you little fairy, why are you taking a shower in my room? Young master, won't you take a look?" Huang Ye buried his head deeply in the bed. The sound of splashing water kept drilling into my ears. Not long after, a warm body pressed against it. Huang Ye deliberately made a slight snoring sound. Xiangyan chuckled inwardly. The young master was too fake, and she slept with him not for a day or two. It was the first time she had heard snoring. I didn't feel any damage either. I was really tired today, and my body hasn't fully recovered yet. Soon, I fell asleep. Huang Ye opened his bright eyes and stared blankly at the roof, thinking about the next step. After 3 days like this, Xiangyan has returned to normal, and those scars have also scabbed. Huang Ye continued his nightly training and also instructed Xiangyan to teach him the martial arts skills he had learned. Seeing Huang Ye's learning ability, Xiangyan was also greatly surprised. After the young master's mind was clear, he was not as strong as usual. When she learned those martial arts skills, it wasn't just a day or two, she followed those guards for a whole year. When I had nothing to do after returning, I also practiced diligently and have been practicing for nearly 5 years now. But the young master only learned for 3 days, and some of them were already proficient in using them. When he challenged her, he didn't even fall behind. "Young master, your learning ability is too strong. I have learned these skills for a full year." "Oh. How old did you learn it?" "At the age of 12. "Well, at that time you were still young and didn't have enough understanding, so you learned slowly." Although Xiangyan answered in this way, he understood in his heart that it was very likely that time travel had completely transformed his body and brain. The original owner became a fool at the age of 10 and could not maintain good physical functions. Although I don't know the names of these moves, I feel that they are similar to some modern boxing and grappling techniques. They are all close combat skills, and if one's learning ability is strong, it can indeed make up for the lack of a system. I'm just learning relatively simple now, and I don't know if I can quickly comprehend advanced martial arts techniques. "Xiangyan, I have assigned you a difficult task." The young master said, "I can do it no matter what. Go find those guards who teach you some lightness skills and have them teach you." "That's no problem. Brother Su is very skilled in lightness skills. At that time, he wanted to teach me, but I felt like I didn't need to learn lightness skills because I was in the mansion. Well, I have to learn this time, so it can also teach me. The most necessary thing to learn now is lightness skills. With lightness skills, I can go out." "Understood, I'll go find Brother Su now." Huang Ye lay in bed pondering. Yuer has been honest these past few days, without any abnormal behavior. Did she find anything? I don't think so. According to Xiangyan's description, when I met Yuer, I was already deeply involved in the scene, and that yellow-haired girl definitely couldn't tell. Perhaps it was because Xiangyan had been with her all along and didn't have a chance to take action, that she hesitated to move. Because there are already some clues from the meals these days. After eating pastries for 3 days, I also started eating some meals, but I waited for Xiangyan to eat first and observed her reaction before eating. It can be certain that Yuer will not harm the innocent, otherwise he and Xiangyan are both in danger. After all, I have too little knowledge about the assassination methods in this world, and there are really some strange methods that are difficult to prevent. Now Huang Ye only eats breakfast and lunch, and doesn't take a bite for dinner. Let Xiangyan carry Yuer and bring some pastries to solve the dinner problem. Xiangyan is also very intelligent. Seeing that Huang Ye has been acting, she is also wary of Yuer in her heart. In the afternoon, Xiangyan returned and, looking at her happy expression, knew that she should have learned lightness skills. As expected, not only did I learn this time, but I also brought back a lightness skills secret book. Flying on the water. After flipping through this secret script, fortunately, the content inside can be roughly understood, which is easier to understand than classical Chinese in previous lives. Xiangyan also explained the content taught by Brother Su to Huang Ye. Huang Ye felt lost in thought. This set of lightness techniques is indeed good. If practiced to a great extent, one can step on the water and walk. As long as one breath does not dissipate, one can run up to 100 feet. If you reach this point, you can easily run across a large river. Young master, my servant's health is good. According to the rules of the mansion, you and I will take turns serving you. What do you think? The rules in the mansion cannot be broken, otherwise it will arouse others' suspicion. But I'm afraid the moon will be detrimental to you. It's okay, I have the ability to protect myself now. She can't cause any trouble. Will you take Yuer's body? Chapter 10. Resurrection of Killing Heart. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Huang Ye was taken aback, as if this was her focus. Xiangyan, I don't know how to do it, including you. I've been thinking carefully these past few days. You are still the daughters of Huang Hua. If you become women, I'm not sure if others can tell. If you really see it, things that are clear-headed are likely to be exposed. It's all your excuses. You promised to take me if the injury healed, and now you're changing your mind. Xiangyan, there's no problem with you, but our current abilities are too weak to protect ourselves. If someone really sees it, it's a catastrophic disaster. Alright, young master, I know. I'm just talking. Just promise me. You must have your thoughts when you hide yourself so much. As soon as I enter the Marquis' gate, it's as deep as the sea. I understand this principle. Well, it seems that Xiangyan knows quite a bit. That's right, the old lady asked us to read more books in our daily lives. Especially when I entered the mansion from a young age, besides needlework, cooking, and tea art, I had to learn piano, poetry, calligraphy, and painting. Huang Ye's heart moved. It seemed that this girl had a certain cultural background, and her understanding should be good. Previously, Xiangyan said that her understanding was very good, but now this lightness skill body method is transferred to him by Xiangyan. The two of them are equivalent to synchronous learning, and can fully compare their understanding with Xiangyan. Xiangyan, how much can you understand what Brother Su is saying? Brother Su spoke too deeply, and I couldn't understand many of them. I had to force them down, but I didn't remember them all. Huang Ye thought about Xiangyan's explanation just now and found it not difficult. There were only 2 or 3 areas that he had a slight understanding of. Now my understanding can mercilessly trample on Xiangyan. I hope not to be trampled on by outsiders outside. When I learn, I can teach you. How much can you understand after listening, young master? How to put it, I feel like I understand everything, but I don't seem to understand either. Only after practicing can I know if I understand correctly. I don't know, you just need to listen to me and read a book yourself to understand, Xiangyan said in surprise. I don't know what the situation is, but looking at the text in the classics, I quickly understand the meaning in many places. This cultivation technique is actually a method of luck. Gathering qi in the elixir field and then applying it throughout the body, one can achieve lightness like a swallow. But I don't know how to gather energy yet. I don't necessarily need to learn immediately to understand, it will take time. That's also great. Brother Su will explain to me word for word, sentence for sentence, so that I can understand a little. Xiangyan really admires her own young master's comprehension ability. It's hard to understand how the young master, who had never learned martial arts before, could have such a powerful comprehension ability after waking up. Don't rush to practice martial arts for now. If you can master the techniques, you will eventually be able to practice them. By the way, is it convenient for you to leave the mansion? It's okay, as an elderly person like me, there are no restrictions on entering or leaving the mansion. Take some time out of the mansion and make me 2 sets of night clothes. What is a nightgown? Xiangyan was taken aback for a moment. It was the first time she had heard the term young master. It's just tight-fitting clothes, like underwear, in black or dark colors, suitable for nighttime activities. No wonder the young master wants to learn lightness skills. He was originally planning to go to the mansion to gather some information. Well, sitting idly by is not my style, my sober thoughts will eventually be exposed. Prepare for the worst first, and then be able to deal with unexpected situations. I'll go out tomorrow to customize. How much money do you need? Please advance it first and I will repay you when I have money. Money is currency, used for buying things. Young master, you're really strange. We call everything we buy silver, and I've heard of the term money for the first time. I don't know, the word money has a long history, maybe because you don't go out much, so you don't know. Perhaps, in the government, we usually only talk about salary and silver. By the way, you don't need to return the silver. I have a monthly salary, although it's not much, there's no room for expenses. We have accumulated a lot over the years, and even if we live outside, we can still live for a few years. Ah. Does this girl treat me as someone who eats soft food? Hurt yourself. Esteem. After Xiangyan left, Huang Ye focused on memorizing the lightness skill. The total number of words in the entire cultivation method is not many, over 3,000 words. There are a total of 5 stages. Being as light as a swallow, flying on eaves and walls, treading on snow without a trace, walking on water with a divine spirit, and flying in the air. Huang Ye believes that practicing to the highest level is the level of a martial arts master. If mastered, he can shine brilliantly in his past life. Since there is an immortal master here, this kung fu has become useless. I just want to find the cultivation technique of a cultivator, which is no different from daydreaming. It's already good to be able to master this technique now. I am not qualified to nitpick and accumulate bit by bit, it is better than doing nothing. My memory seems to have also improved. In a previous life, it would take at least 2 days to memorize 3,000 words, with repeated memorization in between. This time, after 2 hours of recitation, I have memorized the entire martial arts technique very well. He remembered watching a variety show. The strongest brain. Those memory geniuses are truly enviable. Although we know that some abilities can be trained, we also need to have a foundation. It is difficult for an ordinary person with an IQ of only 100 to reach that level. He also searched for some practice methods online, and there were some effects, but to achieve that level, he couldn't do it at all. Now that your brain power has improved, why not try practicing according to those methods? In the evening, Xiangyan and Yue came over together. This time, Xiangyan was carrying a food box. Huang Ye still hasn't eaten it. Yue, my health is almost better now. We are still the same, spending the night alone with the young master. Tonight, you can accompany the young master. Yue replied. Xiangyan tidied up the dishes and left. Yue sat dumbfounded by the bedside, unaware of what was on her mind. Huang Ye deliberately turned his back to Yue, and she could see every move clearly. An hour later, a soft sobbing sound came from the ear. Why is this girl crying? I don't have any killer skills at all, it's too unprofessional. In theory, he became foolish from the age of 10, and the two of them should not have any deep blood feuds. Ah! Young master, you are also a pitiful person. Yue sighed softly. Huang Ye's heart tightened as the little girl muttered to herself, perhaps revealing some secret. I can't help but blame you for being born into this wealthy family. If you don't die, it's me who will die, and my family won't escape death either. My poor younger brother is only 9 years old. Young master, I apologize to you. After Yue finished speaking, a shining dagger appeared in her hand. Huang Ye's hair stood upside down, it seems that this little girl really needs to take a hard hit this time. He was a bit puzzled that according to her description, he must have been instructed. But my own state should not pose a threat to those descendants. Why hasn't anyone killed him for 7 years until now? He is completely alert, and once the dagger pierces, he must use thunderous means to take her down. The little girl didn't immediately take action, but stared at his genitals. It seems like she's still going to cut herself. Why is this? Young master, you shouldn't have done anything wrong. You have tarnished my body. After speaking, Yue raised her dagger high. Nima, why did I tarnish your body? Did she really be held back by her ex? The ex was a fool who couldn't take care of himself, how did he tarnish it? It's really weird. Do even fools have desires? I'm not sure about this, I don't have any memory of it. I don't think about it anymore. Let's first solve this urgent situation. I am currently in bed and cannot turn over to avoid a fatal blow. Last time we had to force a flip, but this time we can't be polite. We should take action when it's time to do so, as it will eventually be exposed. Make up your mind, your muscles are tense all over, and your hands are ready to move.